Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Seeds of Success. Much ado about warm fuzzies, going that extra mile. I have the pleasure of having as my guest today Rosa Katz. Rosa is the Director of Worldwide Training, U.S. Services, and Customer Experience here at Cubica AMF. And she's one of the ones that is always giving out warm fuzzies. So what an appropriate person to have on the show with me today. Welcome, Rosa.
Thank you, Dottie. I'm happy to be here. This is a topic I can easily talk about for a while. It's just something that, is near and dear to my heart.
Absolutely. Well, Rosa, it's just human nature for someone to want to feel special. When you go into a business or whether you go into a restaurant, we just like to feel special. We like to know that we're unique and we're noticed. And when you get that feeling when you walk into some place, that's what I call a warm fuzzy. It just kind of gives you a shiver. It makes you warm inside, brings a smile to your face. And for me, it makes me want to go back to that place. So today we're going to talk about that, those warm fuzzies, those feelings of contentment and happiness and sentimentality. So, we were talking a little bit before we started recording this show about some of the things that you've done in the bowling center. And you shared with me a story that happened to you once while at Disney. And I thought that was so appropriate because I could tell by the way you were talking about it and the look on your face and in your eyes that it made a lasting impression on you. And I'm sure it made the same impression on others that were with you that day. So can you share with our listeners just a little bit about that episode?
Oh, my goodness, it would be my pleasure. And I love to tell the story. So years back, my husband and my stepdaughter and I were at Epcot in Disney, and it was getting later in the day, and there was a ride we had walked past a few times that we wanted to try and get on, but the line was too long. And at one point, we had walked past one more time to see if we could maybe catch the line, not be so long. But after they had boarded the line, we were still standing there when sort of the rest of the crowd had cleared. And one of their cast members came up and asked us if we needed anything, if everything was okay. And we basically told her, we've been wanting to get on this ride all day. We've come back here several times. The line is always very, very long, and we haven't been able to get on this line. And so our day is ending and we're going to be leaving. And so she said, okay, just hold on one second. And she comes back. And so she leaves for a moment. She comes back and she says, okay, follow me. And she walks us through these double doors. And my husband and I are like, what?
Where are we going?
Where is she taking us? And we are clearly now sort of behind the scenes, right? We're walking really what feels like behind this ride. And she walks us all the way around, and then we enter another set of double doors, and she says, okay, wait right here. And she hands us this certificate that says that, we are the first family of today's ride. And I thought, okay, well, that was really nice. So we kind of skipped the line. And so they boarded the ride. The ride was Soarin', and they boarded the ride, and we got to sit all the way at the front. They walked us right in, and right before the ride launches and takes off, they make an announcement kind of welcoming everybody to the ride, and then they say, with us today, we have our first family, the Katz family. And so they announced it, and then, we had the ride. And then when we left, they were just like, great to have you, Katz family, and it was amazing. What I think was amazing about it is not just the ride is phenomenal, right, but the experience. Once we enjoyed that ride so much more that day, for sure. Because the experience of feeling like you had been singled out or that you were made to feel special, like you were important, that you were a VIP. And by the way, they were probably doing this on every single time they launched that ride, right? But for that one ride, we were special. And it's an amazing feeling, not just for during the ride, but now. First of all, I told that story a million times, and I kept the certificate on our refrigerator for years and years. I probably still have it somewhere. What's amazing is every time I go back to that park, and I just walk past that ride, that feeling,
Yes.
right, that they emanated from me that day, that feeling, the feeling special, that ride is special to me, that park is special to me. And my husband and I and my daughter, we always go, do you remember that time? And so it has lasted with us forever. So we came to find out later that it was the year that they were doing Magical Moments. And so they were literally just randomly picking families in Disney to do these little things with. For them, there was no cost. It was the cost of a certificate. But the feeling that it's left with me, and I'm sure tens of thousands of families, is amazing. And I used to try to, and of course we all want to be like Disney, right? And we can't always deliver it at the same level. But we do something quite unique, right? We still deliver fun.
We do.
Still create experiences, and we try to let people walk away with the memories of those experiences. So when I was in the bowl, I used to try to mimic some of that behavior. I used to work with my team and tell them, like I told them the story that we had and said, let's try to create things like that. Maybe it's a family that we walk a pizza over to in a pitcher. Maybe it's a family that we give a free pass to for their next visit. Maybe it's a family that we go and grab an ice cream from the snack bar. Maybe you're hearing something that just one little thing that we can do today can make that whole experience special. We used to do sometimes where people walk in and they didn't really book parties, but they're there celebrating something. And so if we heard it or we knew that something special was going on, we might go generate balloons. We always had them in the bowl. It was easy to put them on a pin and, you know, just pop some balloons on that table, and it made them feel special. What I found also is in those environments, they would spend more.
Yeah.
They would go to that snack bar and order more food, or they would stay a little bit longer because you had really extended that experience for them. And I used to, you know, share with my staff, I used to say, hey, if you have a customer that you'd like to do something special for, I mean, do it. If you think it's a little over the top, come and ask. The likelihood of me saying yes is very high, because we wanted to create those experiences.
And, you know, it doesn't have to be anything big, as you said. You know, it can be the simple things. Now, you did say something I thought was very, very exciting. They did call y'all out by name. And, you know, just that small little gesture of calling someone by their name, that in itself makes you feel good. They cared enough to call me by my name. And that's something, you know, in a bowling environment, that's very easy to do. And, you know, maybe that is just that something special that someone needs, to just hear their name and to know that they matter.
It matters so much. First of all, you know, there's evidence that the word we like to hear the most is actually the sound of our own name. So there's actually evidence of this. So using their name, and we got access to that information because by the simple task of asking to put their names into the system and send them up to the lanes, you immediately know all of their names, right? And so they give it to you freely without, you know, much effort. And I have to share like a quick story that recently we've been redoing the closets in our new home, and we've been getting them from a particular store here in the area. And I went in to design the closet, and I worked with one person. And when we were done, I went up to the front counter, and someone else, you know, I paid that other person, but the person who I worked with, she walked me up to the counter. She said, this is Rosa, and she's doing this, you know, and so I need you to kind of process her payment. So about 10 days later, my husband and I were finally getting around to putting these closets up. And I noticed that there was an error with the closet. And so they had cut the closet a little too large and it wouldn't fit. And I had to go back. And it really kind of halted installing this closet. And in normal environments, that would be something frustrate you, right? I came in, I took care of it. You guys made this mistake. I have to come back. I can't do what I need to do. But what happened was when I got in there, the first thing is, and remember, we're wearing masks now. Mm-hmm. First thing they did is the woman who had designed it This is about 10 days later, and I am certain I wasn't her only customer. She says, Rosa, right here. I'm here. I'll help you. So she immediately knew my name. Well, once she fixed it, and I had gone back up, and I was waiting in line to pay for some additional items, the lady had, you know, who had checked me out, like who had helped me with my payment the last time, she was like, Rosa. And immediately it was like, the frustration, everything went away, right? Everything went away. It was just like, how do you guys remember my name? They're like, of course we remember you. And I don't know what trick they used to do that, but it's impressive. It made it so that anything that I potentially would have been frustrated or aggravated about just poof, went away. Exactly. And so you learn that tolerance becomes a lot bigger.
That's right.
When a person feels like they're having an interaction that's personalized and they feel like an individual.
And you know, that's just one of the many benefits that come along with, you know, giving that over-the-top experience or coming up with something to make that person feel special. It really does generate loyalty, and customers remember that. They remember those experiences, and they want to go back because they have a need for that feeling. And you know, COVID has done a lot of horrible things, but it has also done a lot of good things at the same time, and it's really helped kind of bring down the barriers. You know, people are more comfortable communicating now than they were pre-COVID.
Absolutely.
And that's good. And so, you know, to go in and encourage your employees to evaluate the situation, look at the customers as they come in, and you know, everybody should start, like you said, with that smile. Even though you're wearing a mask, that does not give you permission not to smile. That smile is that first way of communicating with that customer to let that customer know you are there to take care of them. But you know, just look at the advertisement, the positive publicity that you get from giving your customers those warm fuzzies. Look, just for yourself, you shared your story with your recent purchase of your closet. You could have been sharing that for quite the opposite reasons.
Absolutely.
But the fact that the positive definitely overshadowed that experience tells you that people are more willing to forgive and forget, and to really, you know, take a deep dive into the positive, and let's think about that. And those little acts of kindness, those little random things that we do to go that extra mile and make that experience special, those are going to have long-term lasting effects on your business. So that is one of those silver linings that we like to try to point out every now and then. So, well, you know, there's a lot of other ways that you can show the customer or give the customer a warm fuzzy. One of the things that I used to like to do is to send thank you notes after events. And I'll tell you, it's because of the fact that it's a kind of a thing of the past for people to get thank you notes. It made a lasting impression. And if you really, you know, want to make that a special memory, write the thank you note. That's even more special because people don't take the time to do that anymore. And then to add a layer on top of that, if you want to really knock their socks off, you can put a Starbucks gift card in there, and you know, a cute little thanks a latte for your business. Those are the memories that people hold on to. And you know, there's just a number of other things that you can do that don't cost a lot of money, but that have a huge impact on your business.
Absolutely. There's, you know, the thank you card is a small but effective thing. And you mentioned the Starbucks card, which I love. The thanks a latte. Whenever I see that, I always think of you. But you can put something in for them to return to the center, so you don't really have to go outside of your business. And so that's a big thing, but it's the thoughtfulness of sending something after the fact that said, I appreciated your business, that makes a huge difference. And when somebody thinks about a good experience that they had, especially, it's easy to do that when you have parties, group events or birthday parties, because, you know, you really have access to that information. And those are the things that when they think about where did we have a really great event, they'll come back to that.
You're very right. And you know, there is a local restaurant here, and they just do a phenomenal job of telling every single customer that leaves their door. First of all, they ask your name when you come in, and you're assuming it's to call you for your order. But I've learned that there's more to it than that, because as the customers leave the facility, the restaurant, the employees behind the counter actually look up as the door opens and calls you by name and says, "Thanks for coming in today, Rosa. See you soon," or something along those lines.
I love that.
That's so impressive. There's no reason that we can't do that in the Bowling Center, or to some degree of that.
100%. And, you know, one of the things you just said is so incredibly important at this point, in particular post-COVID and with masks, is that, you know, your smile is not going to do the work for you, right? I mean, a genuine smile will, but really now it's all about eye contact.
Yes.
Look up, look at the person in the eye, make direct contact with them, because it's so easy sometimes for us to sort of hide behind the counter and the computer screen, because that's where we're doing our work to get you ready. And eye contact,
you're not listening.
yeah, you know, and eye contact is going to make the difference. Eye contact says I'm listening. Eye contact says you're important enough for me to look up. Eye contact says, you know, you're a valued customer to me. And just think about this, you know, and it's so easy to always talk about the opposite of that, right? But have you ever walked into an airport and you're waiting to get checked in, and the person behind the counter never looks up, and you begin to wonder, do they even know I'm standing here?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, imagine, and then so then there's that one person who does look up, who makes eye contact, and they're the ones who, like, everybody's like, okay, I'll go to that person.
Exactly.
Right? There's just something that makes it the perception, that leads to the perception that that person's friendlier, just simply because they looked up and they made eye contact. And how simple is that?
And you know, these are all very simple things to be doing, and especially as we're in recovery mode and centers are opening back up, and you know, wanting to make sure that the experience is just, you know, on point each and every time. These are simple little things that can be added to what you're doing for your customers, and it can have a huge impact on your bottom line. And so, Rosa, this has been a great show. I really appreciate you coming in and being with us today. And I would like to leave our viewers with this. Go out and do something special for someone today, and leave them with a warm fuzzy that's going to help you grow your business, one happy customer at a time. Who knows, that warm fuzzy might just be the one thing that turns that bad day around. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next time on Seeds of Success.
Thank you, Dottie.